Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Pro Car Studio. My name is Rudy, and today we're going to be installing a TRM spoiler on a 10th Gen Civic Hatchback. So we're going to be installing this TRM spoiler, which is going to be a little bit advanced. You will need to drill some holes on the hatch or trunk, I guess you could say, of the hatchback Civic. Overall, pretty straightforward, but you do want to be careful, double check your measurements, stuff like that. One thing to note is these do come unpainted. So you want to do maybe a dry fit first, and then you'll be able to paint that to match your car and install it, doing a final install with everything kind of pre-drilled, preset, and pre-assembled at some point. So let's go ahead and get started. The process maybe takes about 2 to 4 hours depending on your experience, and that's not counting for any kind of painting process that might be involved. So let's go ahead and get right into it and walk you through the process. So with the tailgate open, we'll go ahead and remove the rear cover off of the hatch. Just undo the 4 mounting positions, and it's pretty straightforward, and you just undo the 4 mounting tabs. Once you get that off, you're gonna remove the upper middle piece. It consists of 4 push clips and 2 retaining tabs. So we're gonna go ahead and use a non-marring pry tool. Try to put pressure on the 4 mounting clips and pop those off. So with it taken off, I'll be able to show you the clips more easily. You want to pry on this here from the bottom mainly, and you'll see the 4 main clips you'll need to undo. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove these side trim panels. There's 1 retaining tab here and 2 retaining clips. Now that we have the side trim covers off, we're going to go ahead and remove these stoppers. One thing to note about these is they pretty much are a one-time use, so if you want, you could grab an extra set. You can reinstall them, but just in case, we've noted the part number for this piece down in the description. Next, we'll remove the 2 tailgate grip covers. And finally, we're going to go ahead and remove this lower trim piece. It's going to consist of about 10 push clips and 4 10mm hex head bolts. And we're going to access those 10mm bolts with a long extension and a 10mm socket. Now that we have the 4 bolts taken off, and before we gain access to those 10 clips, we're going to remove 2 push clips. Just to give you guys a better view, here's the lower trim piece removed, and you can see all the push retaining clips that are locating this lower trim piece. So at this point, we're pretty much ready to mock up the spoiler. So we're gonna start off by assembling it. In our case, we are assembling it for the last time, since it's already all painted and everything. But during the dry fit process, it's gonna be pretty much the same. We're gonna assemble the spoiler, make sure everything lines up properly and you're accustomed to how it's gonna bolt together. And then we're gonna mock it up on the hatch, line everything up, and put our template down so we could line up the holes and drill the sheet metal so we could bolt everything down. So as you can see, we've already placed the spoiler in place. It's kind of just mocked up and being held with some tape for the time being. You might want to have a second person help you out. As you can see, Kevin was kind enough to give us a hand here and hold it in place while we properly mocked it up. And you want to use your templates to go ahead and line everything up. Normally, you'll set the spoiler up to be about 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch away from the closest point to the tail light. So you'll set that up just as you want it to. In our case, we pushed it up to where the back of the spoiler is in line with the tail end of the upper deck lid portion of the hatch. However you want to set it up, you just want to make sure you lay down your template properly, tape it in place, take the spoiler off, double check your measurements and start drilling your holes so you can mount up the spoiler. Other than that, it's going to be pretty straightforward, and you want to make sure you gain access through the back so you'll be able to tighten down the hardware. So I think we are pretty much all set here. I'm going to go ahead and start bolting this down since we already pre-drilled everything. And also, one thing to point out is that you do want to use somewhat of a specialized tool for drilling the holes. It makes it a lot easier. So as you can see, this kind of tool is going to be the ideal choice to drill this type of sheet metal. So that pretty much completes the installation of the TRM spoiler. And again, we want to give a big thanks to Kevin, the owner of this hatchback. Great looking car, and with the spoiler, it's just going to finish it off. Obviously with a paint match, you know, if you want to do a center black piece or a paint match piece, whatever you want to do, it's going to look great for sure. But if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below and subscribe to our channel for more updates. And check out our website, www.procivic.com, where you can find this spoiler and a bunch of other parts for your hatchback, sedan, coupe, whatever you may have. Give us a call or email us if you have any particular questions about this product or anything else. Once again, my name is Rudy from Pro Car Studio, and I'll see you next time.